What's up, comic book fans? And welcome to Comics Icons. Now, JJ what they call me. And today, we got more Miles Morales Spider-Man. This time with issue 29 of the finale of the Webs of Wakanda story arc. It puts Miles in battle against the Black Panther. And if you guys missed any parts of this series, then I'll put up a link at the top of the screen to the playlist. And it'll be a card at the end of the video as well. But just as a quick little refresher for you, for how we got here, Miles had been turned into a vampire all the way back in this past summer's Blood Hunt event, when he had been bitten by Blade, who was possessed by the vampire god Varney. And Miles, along with having the blood of Varney coursing through him, was indeed able to help end the threat of the Blood Hunt and take down Varney. But Miles was still left with his vampire affliction since then, and has been forced to make changes in his life in order to keep the ones he loves safe from what he could potentially do to them. But with the help of T'Challa the Black Panther, who had also gone through a vampire change during the Blood Hunt, but had been cured with the help of his guy Bast, decided to help Miles by taking him to Wakanda and into the realm of Bast in hopes of finding a cure for the young hero. But this journey ended up leading to T'Challa and Miles now forced to battle for Miles' cure in order to please the gods. So if you guys are ready for the battle between both Miles and T'Challa, and you're ready to find out if Miles can be cured of his vampirism, then you guys know what time it is. Let's get it. So when the issue kicks off, Miles is found face to face with the Black Panther just as he's given warning from the Panther guy, Bast, reminding him that she told him bargaining with the trickster would come at a cost. And now Varney has been allowed entry into this plane to repossess the Black Panther. So if you're wondering why the Black Panther is coming after Miles, that's the reason. But Anansi promises to Miles that he will cure him, just as long as he proves himself to be a worthy champion. And pitting him against his sister's champion seems like the perfect test, or in his words, a worthy story. And although Miles refuses to fight the Black Panther, he quickly finds out that pleading or avoiding him won't work, as a Varney-possessed Panther charges and puts the press against old Miles. And as the Black Panther attacks, Miles tries dodging and convincing T'Challa to snap out of it. But T'Challa isn't the one in control, as Varney responds that the vessel is his once again. And as Miles continues to dodge T'Challa, he questions Anansi as to how this is helping to cure his vampirism. But while he's distracted, he's once again charged at by the Black Panther and is barely able to jump out of the way before being warned by Anansi and realizing that his spider sense doesn't work in this realm, as he's prompted by a telepathic warning from Anansi confirming just that. So Miles then decides to power up a venom punch while warning T'Challa not to take it the wrong way, but it barely phases the Black Panther. The vibranium suit he's wearing allow him to just shrug it off, all while pleasing Anansi for how interesting this story is starting to become to him. Although Boss doesn't quite feel the same way and feels as though her brother is wasting her time. Meanwhile, Miles realizes that his punches don't seem to have any effect in this realm, to which Boss informs him that this is a realm between space and time, as well as between the physical and immaterial, so a punch wouldn't have any more effect than a breeze. Plus, Anansi chimes in that it's a spiritual fight and fists alone won't save the young Spider-Man. But Anansi decides to give Miles a little extra push to become his great champion of story and song. And while Miles wonders what changes Anansi is now making to the battlefield, Anansi lets him know that he needs to test Miles' willpower to see if he can carry the burden of being Anansi's herald. So he raises the stakes, and now Miles is confronted by three of his worst adversaries, in Venom, the Assessor, and Rabble. And now Miles seems in way over his head against these three terrors, as he's in the grasp of Venom while being threatened by the Assessor. Until that is, Miles decides that he's had enough, and he charges up his Venom sword, taking out both Venom and the Assessor. And while he tries to convince himself that these are only illusions that can't hurt him, that theory is immediately put to bed when Rabble sneaks him from behind. But he does manage to bounce back and cut down the Rabble illusion as well. just before the attack once again picks back up with the Black Panther, as T'Challa comes bursting through the cloud of smoke that was once a rival illusion, to slam Miles to the ground by his neck. Followed by the voice of Varney speaking through T'Challa trying to convince Miles that being his vessel would be an honor. But then Varney basically accuses Miles of being a coward by allowing him to possess T'Challa instead of carrying the burden himself, causing Anansi to pop up to insist to Miles that it seems as though this story is at the crossroads, and the ending will be up to Miles. But Miles defends that he can't just let Varney keep T'Challa, especially since T'Challa is only here trying to help Miles, and Miles feels that he's just gonna have to fight to save his friend, as it's the only way. But Anansi questions if Miles is right. Is it possible that violence will finally solve the problem where it couldn't before? Which kind of stops Miles in his tracks for a brief moment before he realizes what he must do. If the cost of him being cured means T'Challa must once again become infected, then Miles will just have to learn how to live with vampirism himself. It's my burden, he tells Anansi. My responsibility. Just like he never asked to be bitten by that spider, he never asked to be bitten by Blade either. But he was. And since he figured out the spider thing, he'll figure out the vampire thing too. Which pleases Varney as he leaps under Miles and bites him on the neck. But Anansi responds with a smile. Then it seems our story has only just begun, my champion. As he then snaps his finger and pulls Varney from T'Challa and tells him that his purpose has been served and the lesson learned. As Anansi fully exorcises the demon and frees his champion of his vampire affliction, and as Miles helps his friend T'Challa back up to his feet, he's met by Bast, who informs him that he's passed his trial. But it doesn't come without a price, and she hopes he knows the cost he paid for Anansi's cure, which prompts Anansi to interject and tell his sister that his herald has had enough lessons for the day. And while Miles wonders why Anansi keeps calling him his herald, Anansi responds that that's a story for another time. And just like that, Miles and T'Challa find themselves back in Wakanda, no longer in the realm of the gods, and back with Princess Shuri, who had been worried sick while with the bodies of the two men who were unconscious from her point of view. But T'Challa quickly puts the blame on it being Bast's doing, which also reminds Miles of how unhappy Bast was with T'Challa for bringing Miles, and he wonders if they're gonna be alright. But T'Challa is sure he'll survive her wrath. Meanwhile, as T'Challa tries to compliment Miles on a job well done, everything pauses, and Miles is once again met with the voice of Anansi, asking if he would leave without saying goodbye. And Miles is like, hey, bro, I thought we was done. But that's not the case at all, as Anansi replies that something occurred to me during your trial. Why would my sweet sister be the only one with champions? Two at that. No, Anansi will no longer watch his stories from afar. Oh, how exciting it will be to be in the thick of it all again. Yes, that would make for a great story indeed. Perhaps the great Weaver will see his story spun in real time. And as a nervous Miles questions, what did you say? Anansi is gone, and Shuri is in front of him asking if he needs a ride back home. And then later on, as they fly back to Brooklyn, Miles and T'Challa kind of recap their experience. And Miles is like, I don't know how you and Shuri do it. But T'Challa defends that he and his sister have prepared since birth for it. But that Miles handled himself well, all things considered. And as Miles fades off to sleep, T'Challa almost kind of looks on as a proud mentor for the young spider. While Anansi also looks on. Sleep well, little Weaver, for our story has only just begun. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of the issue. So what did you guys think about the issue and this Webs of Wakanda story arc? I know most people though are happy that Miles is no longer a vampire finally after a long run as one. And what do you guys think Anansi has planned for the young Miles moving forward? I definitely can't wait to find out. And I can't wait to hear what you guys all got to say down in the comments about this run. So hit me with all those thoughts and theories about it. And as always, if you guys enjoyed this video and this channel, and you like to support the channel, then you could do so by stopping by the Comics Icon store and picking up some Comics Icons merchandise, including the background music heard right here in this video available for download. Or by joining the Iconic Fan Club channel membership, and it'll be a link in the description to join. But with your membership, you'll get loyalty badges, member shoutouts, and up to 20% off of Comics Icons merchandise from the Comics Icon store. And even a chance to pick a video of your own choosing for me to post. Plus, we've got tiers to the memberships as well, beginning at just 99 cents. Or you guys could donate to the channel with a super thanks. And if you're not able to do any of that, then you can still help out this channel's future tremendously by dropping a like, share, and subscribing to Comics Icons for more icons in the comic book world. But ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time. I'm out.